Hello everyone, I'm Rachel.
And I'm Isaac.
And you're listening to Let's Talk Avatar.
This podcast is a watch-through of Avatar: The Last Airbender.
We will be discussing each episode in detail and giving our opinions on it.
So stick around and be a part of the conversation.
Just as a warning, this episode does feature spoilers from Avatar: The Last Airbender. This is a teen-rated podcast, so listener discretion is advised.
Welcome back, everyone, to Let's Talk Avatar. I almost said I'm Rachel.
I know, I was going to say, are you going to say you're Rachel?
I'm Isaac.
And I'm Rachel.
There's two Rachels, but, so, today, we're talking about episodes 13
through 16? Yes, 13 through 16.
Yeah.
What's weird when you count episodes is you have to count, 13, 14, 15, 16. Even though, 13 to 16 is 3, I still forget that you have to watch each letter, if that makes sense. So, yeah.
Watch each letter? What? Sorry, guys.
Sorry,
we just took an edible.
I was distracted while I was talking, and so I don't know why letter popped into my head instead of number. Yeah, you have to watch, episode 13, 14, 15, 16. Even though episode 13 to 16 is only 3.
They're gonna think we're so... Okay. So, the first episode of this batch, what's it called again?
The Firebending Masters.
Ran and Shaw, the dragons.
Yes.
The blue and red dragons.
So, we're not going to go into deep detail on this episode because it's not really necessary, I feel like. I mean, I will make a comment on how amazing it is. So basically in this episode you have Zuko and Aang that do this dragon dance they learn, and they do it with these dragons that come out of this, what would you say, this mountaintop which they have found, and there's a group of, a tribe that lives there that takes care of these dragons. Anyway, they end up learning how to firebend from these dragons because Zuko has lost his firebending abilities because his fire that he had when seeking the Avatar is no longer there, so I guess he lost his powers because he's not...
his drive,
his drive. And then Aang obviously has only known how to firebend from Zhang, which didn't last long because he hurt Katara. Anyway, they both learn how to firebend, and I'm going to mention something. So, I have loved this episode for a very long time, but rewatching it this time around, if you guys know, I'm sure you guys have not all, but Jackie, who's one of our friends, was watching this when it was airing, and she hates this episode because she calls it a cop-out, which, watching it through, makes total sense, because although it is very, very cool to watch and experience, and the animation is amazing, it does kind of bother me, the fact that it's just okay, we understand, we know how to firebend now, everything's good. There's no trials they go through, nothing, they just meet these dragons and are given these powers.
And it's so unbelievably quick.
Yeah. It's not it's the last quarter of the episode. To
the point where it's so did they learn firebending? Is this real? Did this actually happen? Do they know how to firebend again? For me, this episode just felt very off. It was very, kind of I wouldn't say awkward, but it was just very uncomfortable kind of to watch for me. Even Katara's character model felt a little off. I feel like there's a different animation team.
Yeah.
It just it just felt off to me, the whole episode.
Yeah, and we talked about this when we were watching it. The animation is amazing. We loved it. The music, amazing. The whole experience.
The dragon dance, amazing.
Oh, yeah.
The flames circling around them, 10 out of 10.
The whole experience you get to experience with them as they're learning is brilliant. It's amazing. I absolutely love it. But the fact that they're just given firebending and there's no trials to go through, when Aang has gone through trials to get through every other bending, or he's gone through some sort of experience, hardship or something, to learn every other bending style.
What made it worse for me, and I don't know if you caught on to this or made a comment about it, but it's like these little one-liners of Aang saying like really, really, Aang and Zuko saying really weird, just almost out of character stuff. That's so cheesy to the point where it's like it's just put there. That dialogue is put there because they know it's almost like a cop-out. Like, they're gonna learn firebending.
And they need to work together, so they're trying to build that relationship quickly between him and Zuko.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I still like this episode, but I understand people's frustrations when, you know, people complain about, like Jackie, how she doesn't like the fact that it's like a cop-out. I totally understand that. And I think before I didn't, because I feel like we romanticize these shows we watched as kids because we want them to stay forever pure in our minds, I guess, if that makes sense. So these episodes we watch, we don't want to admit that there could be something off about them because we love the show so much. Because I love this show. This is one of my all-time favorite shows ever. But I'm also looking through it through different lens, I feel like, this time. And so
we're a lot more mature, at least I would like to think.
Yeah. We're able to intake these things and assess them for what they are rather than what we want them to be.
Exactly. I will say about the whole kind of building the relationship between Aang and Zuko. For me, I felt like that wasn't really needed as much as the firebending because, I mean, we've seen episodes like as far back from season 1, the Blue Spirit. Mm-hmm. Like, there's just always been this push and pull between them, so they already have, I would say, a pretty good rapport with each other. Mm-hmm. Even though they're at odds most of the time, I feel like it wasn't too off for them to just instantly be put into that. So yeah. I'll say that wasn't too, for me at least, it wasn't too off.
Yeah.
The relationship aspect between them. Because I feel like at the end of the day, they're just... And then you have that whole episode where it explains that Zuko is actually related to the Avatar.
You can understand the connection they have between them.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I think that we were like, we're not going to dive into this episode.
Yeah, I didn't expect to talk about it this much.
Neither did I. Let's get on to the next episodes. These are Boiling Rock Part 1 and 2. And Isaac and I can both sit here and tell you. I'm creaming
right now, guys.
These episodes are by far some of our favorite episodes in the entire series.
I'm going to have to change my pants.
I don't know why I keep saying brilliant.
Brilliant. Jolly good stuff.
Brilliant. Great episodes. If you haven't if you haven't watched them yourselves, you need to because they are a masterpiece in my opinion when I think of Avatar.
Okay, so it starts out with Sokka who's like, "Oh, I'm trying to find my dad and all these people that we literally left behind like 2 episodes ago."
Okay, but can we talk about the fact that he didn't give a fuck about Suki till he saw her?
True.
He's like, "I'm just trying to find my dad. I just want my dad." And then he sees Suku and he's like, "Suko?"
We'll get to that.
Suko?
He said Suku.
I know. I combined Suki and Zuko.
So, and then Zuko's like, "Oh yeah, there's a place called the Boiling Rock. It's where they keep like the worst enemies in the Fire Nation." So Sokka's like, "Okay, I'm gonna go there," but doesn't tell him, but it's obvious. And then basically Zuko and Sokka end up leaving to go to the Boiling Rock on a like air balloon fire ship. Mm-hmm. And they make it to Boiling Rock. Suspenseful though, they barely make it in.
These 2 episodes are extremely suspenseful.
Yeah. Oh, entertaining, suspenseful, like all the emotions. On the edge of your
seat the entire time. I can't say, besides them traveling, and even them traveling to there is suspenseful because of what they have to go through to get in.
Yeah, so basically Boiling Rock is this giant geyser, and in the middle is the actual prison. So not only can you not fly in there because the air is hotter than it would be in the balloon, so like the balloon would just sink like it did their balloon, but also like you can't really use a boat unless it's like, you know,
extremely like insulated.
Yeah, or
against that hot water because the water is so hot that just barely touching it burns you.
Yeah.
So you don't want to touch the water, you don't want to touch the air. It's extremely it's a very good place for a prison, I guess you could say.
Yeah, it's like the Alcatraz of the Avatar universe.
Yeah.
But they make it in and then they sneak and become guards. But Zuko doesn't really keep that up for very long.
That's because Sokka turns him in.
Yeah. But then you see a guy that's firebending that's a prisoner. His name is Chit Sing.
Chit Sing? He joins their crew not by their choice, but because he listens into. So Sokka finds Suki. So Suki and Zuko and Sokka all are talking, trying to come up with a plan, and this guy shows up and he's like, well, I want in on it. I want to leave. So they pretty much create this awesome plan to get out. It would have worked, but Sokka overhears that there's going to be new prisoners coming in. So he's like, my dad could be showing up. So they all decide to stay except for, what's his name? I always think I'm going to say like Chitsang or something.
Chitsang?
Him and his friends get out, but not for long because he screams because he burns himself.
But imagine getting burnt by that water.
I know, it makes sense, but it's still just like, man, they could have done it. But who ends up showing up?
It's just one of
his dad.
Yeah.
How convenient.
These episodes, it's just so much happens. It's another one of those, like, we can't really go into everything because it would take forever.
It is so hard to sit here and explain everything because we could spend easily like an hour just describing this episode in detail.
If you haven't seen it, if you haven't seen those 2 episodes yet, I don't know what you're doing listening to us. You should go watch those episodes.
For sure. Do not take our word for it. Go watch it yourself.
Yeah, get your own experience because it is a true experience watching it.
Also, Isaac and I have talked about this. If you guys have any episodes that you would like us to go in more detail on or give our opinion on, let us know, because obviously we're just recapping episodes we watch 4 episodes at a time, so we don't have the capability during these episodes to go into detail. But if there is an episode in particular you'd like us to go over, just let us know, because we would love to. We've talked about doing it, or like ship episodes, all sorts of stuff. We're all for it, anything Avatar related.
Yes. So that's pretty much what happens on the first part. The first part's kind of just obviously setting everything up and bringing in new characters and having a plan and it failing.
Yeah. They end up escaping. Azula shows up. Ty Lee and May turn against her. Let's just talk about that moment for a second, because we each have something from that moment.
Okay, so we're skipping to the very end of part 2, but...
Like we said, you guys need to watch it. If you haven't, you need to. So don't take our word for it. We're not going to go over each detail because
cool moments.
Yeah, it's too much to explain. But there's a moment in the episode with May and Ty Lee and Azula. May ends up fighting a bunch of these Fire Nation guards to get the crew, like Zuko and everyone, to escape off the island.
We have to preface this. Right before this scene, May was actually in a cell with Zuko and
questioning
it's questioning why he's with them, why he's with Sokka, and why he's doing what he's doing. And Zuko actually locked her in the cell when she was like vulnerable. So I think it took that for May to be like, wow, Zuko actually cares about something for once.
Yeah.
And I think that sparked something in her to be like, rethink her whole life.
Yeah, because she goes against Azula and Ty Lee and the Fire Nation pretty much to let Zuko and the crew go. And then you see her and she gets captured, and it's Ty Lee and Azula standing there talking. Well, it's Azula talking, and she's pretty much asking her like, oh, I didn't expect this. And May says something. It's something along the lines of like, your calculations were wrong, or
you miscalculated.
Oh yeah, you miscalculated. And then she says, ooh, gives me chills every time, I love Zuko more than I fear you. And that moment for me, cringy. You guys want to hear something cringy? So I used to, when no one was around, I used to try and act like May and repeat that line over and over and over again like I was a voice actor.
Rachel, are you going to be casted as May for the new Netflix series?
I hope so. Netflix, look at me. A fat May. Just like doing all these flips and throwing all these throwing stars.
I thought what was even cooler was what Ty Lee did after. She did her whole chi blocking thing to Azula, and Azula's voice acting, it's just a noise she made, like a scream, but it was so well done. It felt so real.
It makes you realize that Azula she's not invincible. Like even Ty Lee can hurt her.
That's exactly it. Is because she's so good.
She's so good. that you
I
don't
think she's invincible, honestly.
Oh, no, me too. Don't get me wrong. I do too. So when I saw this happen, and we already knew it was going to happen, but when we saw it happen again, you realize, like, Azula is not as powerful as we've been making her out to be.
And this is the moment where her brain switches into psycho mode. Because I think Tylee and May, as much as they were her like, peasants, they were still people she trusted. Mm-hmm. And it was those were her last two people in her life that she trusted. So
when they turned against her.
When they turned against her, it's like, well, I'm going to go psycho. I might just go psycho.
Yeah, these episodes though, I mean, we've said it like 50 times now. Go watch them. They're so good. You won't regret it. Plus, if you guys have already seen them, or you haven't and you're going to, please let us know what you think. I would love to know other people's opinions on this episode. Or if we missed something, I mean, we didn't talk in detail, but if there's something that you really like that we didn't talk about, let us know, because this episode has so much meat to it. There's so much meat. I'm sure we could have missed something while watching it. But moving on to the next episode, the Southern Raiders.
Oh my god. Okay. Now, we need to be transparent right now.
We contemplated not watching this episode
I'm glad we did watch.
Yeah.
We're just exposing ourselves.
I don't think we ever watched it all the way through before, because Isaac and I don't remember the ending.
We don't remember, like, the first half.
No, the
second half.
The first half we remember.
Half,
it was one of those moments where we're like, oh my gosh. Like, it sounds fun up to say, because I feel bad for Katara. She has this anger.
It's honestly and so tension, tragic.
Like, pent up inside of her because of what happened to her mom, which makes total sense. But then you have someone like Sokka. Well, and she makes a comment to Sokka where I'm like, that's just cold.
Yeah.
When Sokka's like, she wants to go find the guy that killed their mom. And she wants to get revenge. And Sokka steps out and he's like, she was my mom too. And then she responds with, well, if you don't want to kill him, you didn't love her the way I did. And that's just, I mean, obviously everyone copes with things differently, but I just felt that hurt. But I think Sokka's also mature enough to realize that she was saying that out of hurt, because obviously Zuko reminds her of the people that killed her mom, because think about how angry.
That's a good, yeah.
She's been so angry. And this episode is really, it's really good in addressing, I guess, forgiveness and letting things go, because she ends up finding the guy. And she's, like, right there about to kill him and doesn't.
Well, and what would killing him do for her? It would not...
It wouldn't bring her mom back. It wouldn't do anything but cause more pain for...
She'd just be like, wow, now I have blood on my hands.
Yeah. I feel like it honestly would just make her feel worse.
It would make her become her mom's killer.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Deep. Yeah.
I'm here all day.
Yeah, in this episode, this is the episode I think a lot of people use to ship Zuko and Katara, because they're alone and
because they hug at the end.
He's helping her through it, when in reality, Aang is obviously the one for her, because he's giving her what she needs. He's telling her exactly what she needs to hear. And although she doesn't want to hear it, we all have those moments. I have them quite often. He's still the stable one for her in those moments where Zuko's like feeding that, and even Zuko says, like, Aang, you were right, this is what she needed,
And going back to Sokka, when she like blew up on him and said, maybe you didn't love mom as much as I did, okay, fud up. What if Sokka already forgave the whole situation?
Yeah.
We don't actually know.
Yeah,
Katara doesn't actually know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just kind of like, for me, I felt really bad for Katara. It's very tragic what happened, but it's just, I didn't like her character during this episode.
Yeah, I didn't either.
But that goes to show, like, these characters go through real stuff. Mm-hmm. It's so real. Like, imagine, like, think of real life. You're not always going to like yourself, what you go through, what you do. You're not always going to like the other person, what they do, what they go through. It's like...
I'm going to get real deep here for a minute. You know how we're sitting here saying we don't like Katara in that moment? Think about when we're in those moments and we're fueled by hatred or revenge or trying to get back at someone. Think about the way we're viewed by people because of the way we feel and the actions we take because of those feelings. But people have probably felt the same way we did about Katara in that.
That's exactly what I was trying to get to. I just didn't know how to word it.
Yeah, this episode, I think it helps to understand Katara's... Obviously, we understand her hatred that's internal a little bit more. And it's not like this solves anything, because she even tells... I mean, she forgives Zuko in this episode, but she still says, you know, I still hate this man. And the thing is she will. This guy took her mom away from her. It's hard. How do you just let that go?
So she says, like, she'll never forgive him.
Mm-hmm.
Which, obviously, I mean, it could be true, but I feel like it's Katara. She eventually will forgive later on in life. She just needs time.
And I think that most people need time in those situations.
Yeah, I mean, he killed her mom.
Yeah,
but, like,
and think about, that really wasn't that long ago. They're teenagers.
True.
You know?
That was probably, like, what?
10 years ago?
Not even.
Yeah.
Probably, like, 8.
So, I mean, it makes sense why she still has these feelings. And she's never had any kind of closure on it. I think Sokka, obviously, like we said, must have, and she never did.
And I think
But Sokka didn't even know. Katara was there. Katara saw it happen. Sokka was trying to defend the tribe, you know?
True.
So he didn't even know what was going on.
And I think having their dad in the picture more is forcing her to relive these scenarios and think about family.
She's had to be confronted with these feelings more often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do respect her character, though, having watched this episode and the outcome of it. I do respect that she was strong enough to, you know, not kill him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, if that's what she's gonna do, that's what she's gonna do. But at the end of the day, she chose not to. So I respect that.
And she says something really good at the end. She said, I couldn't kill him, and I don't know if that's because I'm weak.
A weak human.
Like, I was too weak to, or I was strong in not killing him, you know? Which I think is something I felt before in situations, too. Like, if you have a meltdown, or you're crying, or something really got to you, and you didn't respond in a certain way, you know, I feel like so many people do respond badly because they don't want to come off as weak. But in reality, being the bigger person and being that stronger person takes not responding, you know?
Yeah.
Wow, we got really deep in this episode.
It's a lot of uncomfortable, awkward situations, and I think, at least for me, in a place of vulnerability, it's very, it's just difficult to get past that.
Mm-hmm.
Or how do you respond to things or different awkward situations like that.
Yeah, well, I think this is...
I didn't think this was going to be like a deep dive into Katara's character.
Neither did I. That goes to show you guys, we don't plan anything we ever say on here. We just talk.
We literally never take notes, just so you guys know. We just say what we want.
We record right after we watch the episode, so it's fresh in our mind, because we want to have the most... genuine response, I guess,
authentic,
to the episodes. Yeah, I think that's all we have for you guys this episode. The next episode, guys, will be our last episode. Let that sink in just a moment. We will be discussing next week how Aang defeats the Fire Lord. Spoiler alert!
That's also when we will be picking the winner for our giveaway.
Yes. We will announce the winner of the giveaway, which you guys are obviously, you're still going to have a week to enter. It's enterable on Twitter and on Instagram if anyone's interested. And included in it is a personalized shirt, a book, and a pop figure. So you don't want to miss out. And we probably will include a nice little note from us, because we know you guys love us. Or you might be annoyed by us. I mean... If you are, I don't know why you're listening.
Most of the people joining, and I would do the same, are just doing it to get the items.
I know, honestly.
But like me, same. And you can actually enter those on our Twitter at Let's Avatar, and also on Instagram at
Let's Talk Avatar. We couldn't get Let's Talk Avatar on Twitter because I guess there's already an account called Let's Talk Avatar, so that's why it's Let's Avatar.
Also, on the slight chance that you guys listen to this episode on the same day it's published, there is a live stream at 9 p.m. Is it p.m.?
Yeah, okay, no. So, Friday, which is when this episode will be released, Friday the 15th is when Avatar is released on Netflix. And in honor of that, Dante Bosco, who is the voice actor of Zuko, is doing a live stream with the voice actor of Sokka, and I think one other person, and it will be on Twitch at twitch.tv/Honor Society, and it starts at 3 p.m. on May 15th. So the day this releases at 3 p.m., they're going to do a Twitch, they're going to do a watch through of a couple episodes. So Isaac and I will definitely be watching that because it's Avatar. So if you guys are interested, join. How cool would it be to just have like a bunch of us in that Twitch chat?
Oh yeah, that would be awesome.
So if you guys have anything to say, let us know. Email us
Yeah,
at
if you just
let's
wanna
talk avatar nem@gmail.com. Reach out to us on Instagram, on Twitter. We literally have nothing else to do. Just kidding. We have a lot to do, but we tend to focus more on this stuff, or Avatar, than other stuff.
Baby Hope fam.
Baby Hope fam. That's gonna be what our group's gonna be called, is the Baby Hope fam.
If you don't know who Baby Hope is,
Go back to the episode titled Baby Hope.
on our podcast.
Yeah.
But if you're watching Avatar, go to the very end of The Serpent's Pass. It's season 2.
1. Isn't it the end of season 1?
No, it's season 2.
Oh, it's season 2, the beginning.
Yeah, somewhere in there. It's Serpent's Pass, though, and it's like the very ending.
You'll know.
But we ramble on for like literally 8 minutes, I think. My name is Isaac.
And I'm Rachel.
And we will see you next week.
With our last episode!
Oh my god. We just go into another ramble.
I just want to so badly. Just to let you guys know, we will be doing a break after we finish the Avatar series, which is next week. And then we will be jumping into Korra. So keep following, stay tuned, because we have some more stuff coming for you.
Yes.
Again, I'm Rachel.
I'm Isaac.
And we'll see you next week.
Thank you
Bye.
so much for
Bye.
listening to this week's episode of Let's Talk Avatar. I'm Isaac.
And I'm Rachel.
You can find us on our website at nonessentialmedia.com,
On Instagram under Nonessential Media.
on Twitter at nonessentialm,
And on Facebook by searching Nonessential Media. Join us next week for another episode of Let's Talk Avatar.
We love you, Baby Hope.